Hey students, this is the spreadsheet functions assignment. This was an assignment we did in week 8, and you can see it right here. Yours will have your name on it when you pull it from Canvas. So we have a spreadsheet here, and you can see the spreadsheet is made up of cells. I've clicked on one right there that is in column B, and it's in row 3. And so that is that cell's name, cell B3. Now you can see that we are going to do if I want to highlight column B, I just simply click on that column header and it will highlight everything in that column. Same with the row. If I highlight a row, it will highlight the entire row. And I can do things with that, like I can format the text. I can make it bold. I can change its alignment. There, it's now all centered. And what I am going to do, and I can also highlight the entire spreadsheet by clicking that empty box up in the left-hand corner. Now, I'm going to do the functions. You can see we have 4 functions: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And I'm going to add just a bunch of numbers together. I'm going to start with some just simple numbers that I could add in my head if I wanted to. And now I'm going to add up all of these numbers. And in reality, what I'm really going to add is all of these cells over on the right-hand side. I am going to use the functions menu, and I'm going to use the sum function, which is right at the top. Sum is the answer to an addition problem, and I am going to sum not the number 5 and 6 and 7 and so on. I am going to sum B2, and then I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to click the bottom of the range of cells, B7, and you can see my formula says B2 through B7, and there it is. It's added it all up. Now, what's cool about spreadsheets is I can go back and change the numbers, and it's still going to add them because I didn't tell it to add a specific number. I told it to add a specific cell. So any values that I now put in that cell will be added accurately, and the answer put in my totals row. So that is the sum function. That's how you add different cells. The subtract function will only do 2 cells at a time. So I'm going to type in 8, and I'm going to subtract 4. Now I can do this in my head. 8 minus 4, it's 4. And then you'll see, once again, we can replace numbers in those cells when we do it. Now, the subtract function, you're going to have to scroll for it. You go to where it says all, and then you keep scrolling way, way down. And it's actually not subtract. It's called the minus function. So I'm down to the M's to find minus. There it is. And I'm going to click. And I'm going to click. And then this time I'm going to add a comma. And then I'm going to click the next cell. So I'm not going to highlight the range of cells. I'm going to click them individually with a comma in between. And there you can see the answer is 4. Now I can, again, change any value in here to stuff that I couldn't do in my head. And again, the spreadsheet's going to add it up, find the difference accurately. Now, if I wanted to actually subtract more than just 2 numbers, I can write my own function for this. And so I'm going to just put in a bunch of numbers, starting with the biggest one, and then I'm going to just put in a bunch of numbers. I want to subtract all those from 500. And I do my own formula by starting always with an equal sign. So equal sign, and then a left parenthesis, shift 9, and then click the cell, add a minus, click the next cell, add a minus, the next cell, minus, so on and so forth until I get to the last number. There's no minus on the end. I close the parenthesis. That is shift 0. Now I've got my own function. And again, once I've got my function in, it doesn't matter what I put in the cells, it will still subtract it. Multiply, this is like the minus function. The multiply function only does 2 numbers. And again, I'm going to show you how you can also write your own multiplication function to multiply multiple numbers. So again, I'll start with something I can do in my head. 5 times 5, that should be 25. I'm going to go to all. And actually it's taking over from where I left off. The M's, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit, find the multiply function. And just like the minus function, I'm going to click a cell, put in a comma, click the next cell, and there it will multiply those 2 numbers. and I see 25. I did it accurately. And then once again, I can go and put in all kinds of crazy numbers, ones that I could not multiply in my head. And then you can see what the result is in your totals row. All right. So now I'm going to show you a little close up here. I want to multiply multiple numbers. I'm going to do 6 times 5 times 4 times 2 times 3. Now, again, that's a little much for me to do in my head. So equal sign, left parenthesis, and then I'm going to click. And the symbol for multiplication is the star or shift 8. There it is. Finally, the divide function. I could show you the divide function, but again, I think, especially with these two numbers, it's really quicker just to type these functions in. So I'm going to do 200, and I'm going to divide it by 4. And then I'm going to click down here. And just like we have written our own functions a couple times, I'm always going to start with the equal sign, type in the equal sign, and then click the first cell after the parenthesis. And then the / is the division symbol on a keyboard. And then the next cell, close the parenthesis, that's shift 0, and boom, there it is. I have my own division function. Students, if you've gotten this far, then what you have done is completed the spreadsheet functions assignment. Remember, once you get your formula in, you can put in all kinds of numbers, and the spreadsheet just becomes like this calculator for you. 4 functions add